Production funding for Virginia Currents is made possible in part by
Alpha Natural Resources. We partner with more than 1,000 community organizations. At Alpha, we fuel progress around the world through the energy of our people.
Coming up next on Virginia Currents.
If I can help change a dog who has fear issues, who has anger issues, to overcome that and be a good, productive member of society, then I know I can.
Are you ready? I try and go to every single kid's extracurricular activities so that I can be a part of their lives outside of this environment so that they know I don't just care about them here at school, I care about their whole well-being.
We're going to
Welcome to Virginia Currents. I'm Lily Lee. This week, part 2 of our series on dogs. Last week, we met rescue dogs. This week, it's about rescuing the canines. Then meet a school teacher lauded for her teaching passion. Plus, we'll talk with the author and the photographer behind Seeing Trees, a book with a fresh perspective on one of our most beloved natural resources. But first, a project to help the underdog. Fetch a Cure's Pixie's Pen Pals is an effort that helps dogs in need and enriches the lives of inmates in Virginia's prison system. The idea is to pair hard-to-place homeless dogs with inmates. In a matter of about 6 weeks, the dogs get trained and offered up for adoption to a loving home outside the prison system. We started at Lunenburg Correctional Center to find out about this doggone good idea.
That's good girl. That's my girl.
Mommy.
Sit. Good girl. Wait. Good boy. It's because of this program that I was able to see I am worthwhile and that I can change. If I can help change a dog who has fear issues, who has anger issues, to overcome that and be a good, productive member of society, then I know I can. I got a better chance of doing that for myself.
Libby, can you pray? Amen. Good. Good girl, Mom.
You know, when I first got in the program, I never cared for myself, so I really didn't know how to go about training or caring for a dog. Ideas that I had back then were still what we call a convict mentality. You mind your business, I'll mind mine. You do your time, I'm going to do mine. Don't mess with me, I'm not going to mess with you. You know, some people might call that, you know, stinking thinking. But that's the lifestyle that I've been accustomed to and grown up in.
When the dogs are surrendered to the shelter, not only are they confused, they feel abandoned. We're proud of the programs that we offer. We're affiliated with Fetch a Cure's Pixie's Pen Pals, where we take dogs that are deemed unadoptable and get them the training they need. Get it, baby. Get it. The relationship between these incarcerated dogs going to the inmates to train is a huge correlation, and I think the inmates understand these dogs better than a lot of people do. When she came to us, she seemed so lost and so confused and so underappreciated, and the time that we've had her and the stuff that we've all been through together. You can tell this dog knows. You can tell she appreciates what we've done, right? There is a critical time in a dog's life where it does need to be socialized with humans, and if they miss that period of their life, they can get over that, but it is more difficult. History tells us that we took animals in and we domesticated them, and we used them for purposes of hunting and companionship, and then for someone to turn around and discard them with no regard to their feelings or their needs. That's a shame. This one's name is Virginia Dot. A Virginia Department of Transportation worker found her laying on the side of the road. She could not get up, completely emaciated. Again, she was one that you could see every rib bone. You could see her hip bones, really, really bad shape. And she quickly rebounded. There is a good possibility that she was used for hunting. And unfortunately, not all dogs are owned by responsible hunters who come and look for the dogs. This one is Sally, and she was extremely malnourished, and her skin was in very poor condition. So we got her back to the shelter, and she quickly recovered. Our hope is that there will be an opening in Pen Pals in the near future for her, just to learn her basic obedience. She's a great dog, but a little polish around the edges. She's probably never been taught the basics. Some of the dogs are longtime senior residents who call this their home, and this is the only home they've ever known. The Fetch a Cure Pen Pals is sometimes their only hope to getting out from behind these bars.
What we're going to do is we're going to go around and do what we normally do with the Show What You Know. If Simmons, you're standing there, so you can be first and show us what Wolfie's got going on.
You love the people, don't you? That's a good joy. That's pretty.
You know, we've taken a few in that were actually going to be put down. Ellie was slated to be put down because of the fact that she did come from a feral litter of dogs. There wasn't much that they felt they could do for her between having the mange and being hard to handle. When she came to me, she was pink with scabby skin, you know, icky. She looked very icky.
She came in, she wouldn't let us touch her, couldn't take the leash off of her for 4 or 5 days, otherwise we'd never be able to catch her.
I could, of course, see past that, because I know that the minute she came in, she just lit up, and that she was just bouncy and, you know, ready to come to life and be given that second chance. So she was going to be all right.
Being able to gain the experience in working with a fearful dog was really something special.
And then if he wants to talk to me, I'll be there in 15 minutes. Come on, guys. May.
Drop.
Hey there.
Good boy.
No, I don't.
The dog I have now is Afton. She's a Beagle mix. She's about 2 years old, roughly. She's extremely playful, pretty confident with other dogs, but with people, she tends to be a little more clingy, a little insecure. She's extremely sound sensitive, and she's definitely hand shy. So she has some fear issues, some anxiety issues, but for the most part, she's a pretty good dog. She loves to play.
These guys have learned a lot of patience with these dogs. You have to be patient with the dog. First of all, a person and a dog don't speak the same language. So you're getting her attention? The surprising thing is that they're pretty much just like you and me. They just got caught. That's the way I tell those guys that all the time. I'm like, you know, I feel like you're just like me and my family, but you got caught. We've all done things that are wrong. None of us are perfect.
We're learning to communicate and to watch, to just sit back and take some time to listen. And now if I do my job right, they get a good second chance to be able to succeed. You know, same thing goes for me.
I don't know how many times they committed that crime. I don't know the circumstances behind it, but whatever it is, they're in here, they're doing their time, they have a job, they're trying to do something good. My rule with them is I don't want to know why you're here. I don't want to know anything about your life. I just want to know what you can do for these dogs.
Well, the program means quite a few things. Not only being able to learn a skill such as training the dogs, but it also gives me an opportunity to be able to work on my own issues as far as dealing with other humans as well as the dogs.
Wolfie, he was chained to a tree, and the owner didn't interact with him or anything, and the chain had embedded in his neck. He's been here since October. He's come around a lot. At first, he wasn't really liking people too much because, you know, he chained to a tree, wouldn't like people too much. And so now he's come around a lot. Wolfie.
I think it's an incredibly important program. Give guys a chance to actually focus on something other than themselves.
250 dogs from the shelter have been selected for the Pen Pals program.
Yeah, we have barbed wires here too. I'm like, you got my ball, give me my ball back. She's not gonna hurt you. That's a fake box. You know, they have different boxes too, you can tell. They are special little guardian angels, you know. They watch over us. Dogs came first, we came last. She's a sweet dog.
The Pen Pals program is so important because it helps out a certain segment of the homeless dog population.
This little guy here is Lady Wiener Dog.
These are dogs that have had very little interaction with humans. They've received very little care, no training. The dogs that end up here come from many different backgrounds. Some are given up by their owners, some are lost, some are found. Some of the dogs are brought here because their owners have passed away and families didn't have another way to take care of them. Some dogs are brought here because their owners can no longer afford to care for them.
These dogs, maybe need a little special help getting adopted. So we kind of look for dogs that, aren't going to be the first ones that you adopt when you go into the shelter, and, really give them a second chance of learning some ways that they can be a little bit more adoptable.
I absolutely see a parallel between inmates that train our dogs and the dogs that are here. A lot of times they aren't given the opportunities.
It is a situation where there is redemption on both sides for the dog, for the inmates, because of the fact that those inmates don't have, a lot of them have family that might be supporting them, but at the same time, the inmates still not be ready to trust them. And then when we bring these dogs in, the same thing. Some of these dogs, they don't have any other chance. This is it. This is the last straw.
Yeah, it really saves these dogs' lives and gives them another chance.
Now, not every offender gets to work with these dogs. Only top inmates are handpicked to become trainers. The dogs actually live with the inmates round the clock, often sharing a cell with an offender. Trainer and canine stay together until it's time to be released for adoption. Hundreds of dogs have graduated and been adopted out from Pixie's Pen Pals program to loving homes. To find out more, visit fetchacure.com.